as I told in today's class, we are going to see the synchronization. And what do you mean by synchronization? Means, for example, there is some shared resource that is available. And that shared resource can be used by only one thread at a time. If there are some shared resources are there, it will be used by only one thread at a time. If two or more threads are trying to access the shared resource, then the permission should be given only to one thread. The remaining threads has to wait. Okay. So the process of providing these kind of operation is known as a synchronization. Okay. For example, printer is there. So if 10 students, instead of thread, you consider yourself, there is a one common printer that can be used by all the 10 students. If all are trying to access the printer, it is not possible. Only printer can be used by only one person at a time. Printer is a shared device and 10 students are to access the printer simultaneously. But the shared resource printer should be assigned to only one student. That means only one student can able to access the printer, they can complete. Once a particular person have used the printer, then he will release the printer. He is not going to use. Then the printer will be alerted to the next person. Similarly, in the thread also, you may be having more than one threads. More than one threads are trying to access the shared resource. Let us consider same printers. So if more than one threads are trying to access the printer, then the printer can be given to only one thread. So what happened to all other threads? Now all other threads have to wait. Okay. And for example, printer is allotted to thread T1. T1 will be using the printer. After using, it will release that printer. T1 will go off. Then the next thread which want to use the printer, that thread will use the printer. Okay. So the process of doing a coordination among the threads and with the resource is known as a synchronization. Okay. So when more threads need to access a shared resource, they need some way to ensure that the resource will be used by only one thread at a time. The process by which this is achieved is called synchronization. So the main use of synchronization is two things. Synchronization is used to prevent thread interference. One thread may not interfere with the other thread if you are using the synchronization. And the synchronization is used to prevent inconsistency problem. Synchronization is used to prevent inconsistency problem. What do you mean by inconsistency problem? Now, the data which is there in the device, that should be correct. For example, you can take the bank example, your account. So on your account, if a deposit and withdraw, both the operations are performed at the same time, then the balance amount which you are having in your account may not be correct. Either you have to perform deposit or you have to perform withdraw. At a time, you cannot perform both the operations. Both deposit and withdraw simultaneously cannot be performed. Not doing in that way, in that case, your data will be in an inconsistent state. That means your balance will be wrong. Your balance amount which you are having may be wrong value. You will not get your correct balance value. Okay. So that is inconsistency problem. So the main purpose of using synchronization, it is used to prevent the thread interference and it is used to prevent inconsistency problem. Okay. Is there any doubt with this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Always I'm hearing voice from two girls and one or two boys. So next, in Java, you can able to provide synchronization in two ways. One is by using synchronized method. Second one is by using synchronized block. First one is by using synchronized method. Second one is by using synchronized block. Okay. So in two ways you can provide a synchronization in Java. And textbook, they have given only these two ways. And if you are referring some website, they have given one more method, that is by using static synchronized method. Synchronized static method. So it is like a same, the first method, synchronized method. Along with that, you'll be using the keyword static. So if you are static method, that means that static method can be called with the of class name only. That is the only difference. All other things are between synchronized method and synchronized static method. So now in your textbook, they have given two ways. One is synchronized method, other one is synchronized block. So we are going to see these two methods with an example program. So first method is synchronized method. So for example, code which you are having in the synchronized method can be executed by only one thread at a time. Only one thread can able to enter into the synchronized method. If you are taking the normal methods can be executed by more than one thread at a time. Normal methods can be executed by more than one at a time. But if you are having the synchronized method, that synchronized method can be executed by one thread at a time. Okay. So synchronized method is used to lock an object for any shared resources. For example, you can take the printer. Okay. So when the thread invokes the synchronized method, it automatically acquires the lock of that object. Object can consider printer and releases each when complete its task. Complete its task. Okay. So while the thread is inside the synchronized method, all other threads try to call it on the same instance have to wait. That means that synchronized method can be executed by only one thread. If any other thread trying to call that particular synchronized method, that has to wait. Other methods has to wait. So any method is declared as a synchronized is also known as a synchronized method. And we are going to take an example program by considering bank as a real-time application. Okay. So we are going to take an account. Okay. So initially you will be having a one balance amount. Okay. For example, here I have specified 5,000. Initial amount as a 5,000. And you can able to perform either deposit or withdraw. Okay. So if you want to perform either deposit or withdraw, you have to call the method transaction. So this transaction method is specified as a synchronized method. Okay. Synchronized void transaction. And here I am having two parameters. Int n, character c. What is int n? Int n specifies what is an amount which you want to either deposit or withdraw. That amount you will be specifying n. The c, character c specifies whether you are going to perform a deposit or withdraw. So class bank, I have defined one class with the name of bank. I specified one variable amount. So it means it is a balance amount. Okay. And the initial balance which I have given is a 5,000. Okay. So 5,000 is the account. Okay. And then I have defined one method transaction. Its type is void and it is a synchronized method. As I told, the synchronized method can be executed by only one thread at a time. If all other threads are trying to call this method, they have to wait. This transaction method has two parameters. One is int n, other one is an char c. Int n, what I will have in n, the amount which I deposit or withdraw. That value, that money value I will be having. And the character C, what I will have in the character C, I will have whether I want to perform deposit or withdraw. Okay. So inside this method, I am having one try block and catch block. So what I am having in the try block, first I am checking if C is equal to D. If C is equal to D, it means that I want to perform deposit. I want to perform deposit. So if I want to perform deposit, then what I will do now? Already I am having a sum in the amount. Along with that, I will be adding the n value. Okay. So if C is equal to D, that means the operation which I want to perform is deposit, then system.out.println within the dot I have given before deposit my balance. So what I'm doing, the amount value of a variable amount I am displaying. So and then what I am doing, amount is equal to amount plus n. Since I am going to perform deposit, the n value I must add to amount. And after deposit, what is my balance? That I am displaying here. System.out.println after deposit, balance is equal to plus amount. Okay. So this is for the case of deposit. Okay. So other operation which we will be doing is a withdraw. So here it is. Else if C is equal to W, C is equal to W, it means that you want to perform withdraw. So if it is a withdraw, then what to do? N value should be subtracted from the amount. N value should be subtracted from the amount. So in that case, system.out.println before withdraw balance is equal to, so what which I am having, that will be displayed. So amount is equal to amount minus n. So it is a withdraw. So I have to subtract n from amount. So after withdraw, what is my balance? That I am specifying system.out.println after withdraw balance is equal to amount. Okay. So and then I called the sleep method. Sleep method usage is if you want to make a thread to wait for some period of time, then you can go for calling the sleep method. Sleep method means that particular thread won't do any operation. It will be okay. So like a timed waiting. So how much time that thread will be in a 400 millisecond. And then so all these code from here to and that is up to are in the try block. So if in the try block, while executing the statement, if it is going to throw any exception, that will be catched by the catch block. So catch exception E system.out.println E. I have closed my method. I have closed my class. Is there any doubt with this?
No, ma'am.
Is there any doubt? It is like a normal class. There I am having one variable, integer variable amount that is initialized to the value 5000. I have one synchronized method. Method name is transaction with a two parameter n and c. So n hold how much money I want to withdraw or deposit. C specify whether I want to perform deposit or withdraw. So I have written the code for deposit and I have written code for withdraw. Just addition and subtraction. If you want to perform deposit, you will be doing addition. If you want to perform withdraw, doing subtraction. And that I have specified by using if else, and that code I have placed within the try block, and for that try block I am having my catch block. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it understandable or not? Yes or no?
I understood, ma'am.
So one class I have defined. So next what I have to do now, I have to create two thread. One thread to do the deposit, other to do the withdraw. Okay. So this class is completed. I have to define. Wait. Okay. So I have to define thread classes. Okay. So one for deposit, other one for withdraw. So here you see class deposit extends thread. So here I am creating a new class that extends from a thread class. So whenever I am going to create an object of a deposit, that object becomes a thread. That objects become a thread. So class deposit extends thread, and I have specified one reference object, that is bank T. Bank T. I am having one parameterized constructor deposit bank X T is equal to X. So whatever the value which you are sending here, X, that is assigned to T. Okay. And I am having the run method. Whenever you are defining a class that extends the thread class, you must override the run method. You override the run method. Okay. So when you are trying to start executing your thread, it will come and execute the run method only. So for example, whatever the work which a thread wants to perform, that code you have to place within the run method one. So public void run. So within that, what I am doing, I am calling the transaction method t dot transaction 4000 comma d. So that means that here it is for the deposit. I want to deposit 4,000 rupees. Okay, that money I have specified. The work which I want to perform is D. That means deposit. So that two values sending to a transaction method. And similarly, I have to find another class for withdraw. You see here, class withdraw extends thread. Class withdraw extends thread. Okay. So a similar same code only there is a change in the class name. Okay. Bank T, I am creating one reference object for the T, and withdraw bank X. Okay, parameterized constructor. So while creating an object of a withdraw, it will be passed object of a bank class. X is an object of a bank class. That time assign T. Okay. So now T becomes an object of the bank class. Okay. And then I have to override the method run method. So I'm repeating, if you are defining a new class that extends thread class, there you have to override the run method. So I'm overriding that run method. Here only we have to specify the code which to be executed by a thread. So here I'm doing t dot transaction 2000 comma w. I'm calling the transaction method. Okay. So by passing 2000 and w means a withdraw operation. I want to perform withdraw operation. How much withdraw? 2000. Is there any doubt with this? Is there any doubt with this? So till now, how many classes we defined?
Three.
How many classes we defined?
3 classes.
3 classes. One is a bank class. There we are having the synchronized method. Method name is transaction. And we defined 2 more classes. Deposit is another class. Withdraw is another class. Actually, this deposit and withdraw are the thread classes. Next, what you have to do, you have to define another class where you have to create an object of a bank, you have to create an object of a deposit, you have to create an object of a withdraw. The object of a deposit and withdraw are the threads. Then you have to start executing those threads. That next. So public class test sync is class name, and I am having the main method public static void main string of bank obj is equal to new bank of. So obj is an object of a bank class. Obj is an object of a bank class. Okay. So deposit T1 equal to new deposit of obj. So what I am doing here, T1 is object of a deposit class. So what I am doing, T1 is equal to new deposit of obj. When I pass a parameter and here in the deposit, then what will happen? It will go and execute the constructor which is there in the deposit class. What is there in the deposit class constructor? This is. So obj I am passing here. I am passing here obj. That obj is to T. So T is an object of the bank class. Similarly for deposit, sorry, withdraw. Withdraw T2 is equal to new withdraw obj. So when I give this withdraw of obj, it calls a constructor which is there in the withdraw. So what is a constructor? This is a constructor. This will be executed. So what value I am sending here? Obj. So that obj will be assigned to T. So T is an object of a bank class. Next, T1 dot start, T2 dot start. When I give T1 dot start, what will happen? T1 dot start means automatically it executes a run method which is present in the deposit. Why T1 is an object of deposit? So it will come and execute the run method. This method will be executed. So within this method, what I am doing? T dot transaction. I am calling the transaction method. So from here, it will go and execute this method, synchronized method transaction. So how the program links, that you should understand. So when I call T2 dot start, T2 is an object of a withdraw. When I call T2 dot start, it will go and execute the method which is available in the withdraw. So it will come and execute the run method which is available in the withdraw. So within this run method, what I am doing? T dot transaction 2000 comma W. So I am calling the transaction method. So if I call transaction method, it will go and execute the transaction synchronized method which is available in the bank class. Is it clear? Is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? So this is a program which uses synchronized method. So I am going to execute this program in the online compiler. Okay. From my copied here, I am going to execute this. What is my initial balance? 5,000. Okay. So you see the output on my right side. Before deposit, balance is equal to 5,000. After deposit, balance is equal to 9,000. How much I deposited? I deposited 4,000. Okay. And then I am doing withdraw. So before withdraw, balance is 9,000. After withdraw, balance is equal to 7,000. So from 9,000, how much I am withdrawing? I am withdrawing 2,000 here. Is it clear? First, I am calling T1. T1 is an object of a deposit. Okay, that will be executed. Then I am calling T2. T2 is an object of a withdraw. First, I am doing deposit. Then I am doing withdraw. Let me change the operation. How can I change? First, I want to withdraw and then I want to perform deposit. How to do? Calling of a start method. If you are changing, then you will do that. See, first I have called the T2 dot start. Then I am calling T1 dot start. Okay. First it has to perform withdraw. It will perform deposit. And you see what is the output which I am getting? Before withdraw, my balance is 5,000. After withdraw, balance is equal to 3,000. Before deposit, balance is equal to 3,000. After deposit, balance is equal to 7,000. Okay. Is that both T1 and T2 are executing parallelly, but while calling the synchronized method, only one thread can execute the synchronized method at a time. Either T2 have to execute the synchronized method or T1 has to execute the synchronized method. Okay. So both cannot execute the synchronized method at the same time. So here at last our balance is 7,000. Is it correct or not? Balance 7,000 is correct or not? My initial balance is 5,000. With that I am depositing 4,000. Totally 9,000. and then I'm withdrawing 2,000. So final balance will be 7,000. It is happened only it is a synchronized method. Since because it is a synchronized method, I'm getting my correct balance. Let me change this. Let me change this as a normal method. You see, I'm changing the transaction as a normal method. Then I may not get my balance correctly. Okay. So let me execute this. This time correct balance and not all the time. The final balance value. And you see the way the statements are executed. First, it is executing before withdraw balance is equal to 5,000. Executing before deposit balance is equal to 5,000. So the statements, it means that both the threads are running parallelly. Both the threads are running parallelly. And here you see, after the execution final statement, what is my balance? What is my balance? Can you see the output? After executing the final statement, at last, what is my balance? Is it 7,000?
Ma'am, that is withdraw balance, no, ma'am.
Ma'am, correct only, ma'am.
No.
The
At
statement
last,
gets
what we are
fulfilled, ma'am.
having, that only. That is a
Ma'am, we
statement that is
spoke
executed
second one.
last. Yes.
Ma'am, we lastly called the object of deposit, ma'am. So the after deposit balance is 7,000, correct only.
Actually,
At
I'm not
last, 7,000.
using. What? Ma, all in all, while executing all the statement, the value which it is updating is the amount variable value. This is the final amount variable value which I am having here. Whatever the value which I am displaying here is an amount variable value. So at last, after completing my program, what is the variable value? The amount variable value is 3,000 only. In all the places, I'm displaying the amount variable value only. You don't consider all these things. Then you are saying, since I have given before withdraw, before deposit, you are telling it is a withdraw like that. Just I will give balance. So in that case, what do? At last, what is the balance value which I am having? Remove all the after deposit, before deposit and all. Shall I remove that? Then you will not get that. And I'll be removing this. So in all the cases, what I am doing, only to show the difference, I have added that words. You see, in all the cases, I am displaying the value of the variable amount only. After my program completes its execution, my balance value should be 7,000. If it is 7,000, then only my program is executed correctly. That is, my data is correct. My database is in consistent way. If I'm not having 7,000 in the balance, means that my database is in inconsistent state. It should not happen. I'm executing it again. You see, I have given only balance. This one I'm getting final balance as a 7,000. So in this case, it is okay. Same program I am executing again. At last, what value we are getting at last, that is our final value. So this time also I am getting 7,000 only. So we cannot that all the time we will have 7,000 as our balance. I am executing several times. So in each time, the statement will be executed in different orders. That subtraction, addition, that and all is there, na? And all executed in a different order. You see now it is 7, already changed. Previously it was 3,000. If I am getting 7,000, then there won't be any problem. You see, it is differently getting 5,000, 9,000, 5,000, 7,000, that and all wrong. You see, initially I am getting 5,000. Here also I am reading 5,000, but here after subtraction it is 1,000. That should not be happen. Why it is happening like this means I have specified the transaction method as a normal method. Because of that only the statements are executed here and there. So both the deposit and option should not be performed simultaneously. If you are doing execution of both the operations simultaneously, then your database will be in inconsistent state. You see, now balance how much I am having. Last value. What is my balance?
9,000.
Whether it is correct, I have completed my program. In the program, I did operation. One is deposit, one is withdraw. So already 5,000 is there. And in my program, I deposited 4,000. So it is 9,000. And then I withdraw 2,000. So my balance should be 7,000 only. But you see, my final balance is 9,000 here. Why it happens like this now? Since I did the deposit and withdraw, both the threads are running simultaneously. Both the threads are executing the transaction method simultaneously. Because of that one, my data are not correct here. In order to avoid that problem, we are going for synchronization. If I made the transaction method as a synchronized method, then either the deposit thread will execute the transaction method or withdraw thread may execute the transaction method. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
In order to show the difference only, I made changes over the program and I shown the output also. And next is synchronized block. So in two places you will be using the synchronized block. For example, in a method having 100 line of code, but you want to provide synchronization to 10 line of code. In that case, you can go for using synchronized block. Okay. Or otherwise, that is second. So the second scenario is already a program is written by somebody. As a new programmer, what you are doing now, you can able to call the method, but that method is a normal method. But you want to provide the synchronization. So what you will do now, you will call that normal method within the synchronized block. Okay. Synchronized, the task is the operation is same. In either case, it is going to perform synchronization only. How I am going to do synchronization here now? By blocks, synchronized blocks. In two situations, you can go for using synchronized block. First one is you are having method. In that method, you may have 100 lines. But if you are making the method as a synchronized, then all the 100 lines can be executed by only one thread at a time. But I don't want to do like that. So there is only 10 line of code in 100 lines. There is only 10 line of code. I want to provide the synchronization. So what can I do? Means I can put the 10 line of code alone in the synchronized. So remaining codes and all can be executed by more than one thread at a time. The code which is there in the synchronized block, that is 10 line of code, can be executed by only one thread at a time. That is one scenario. Second scenario is already some class and methods are there, and those methods are the normal method. But you want to provide synchronization for those methods. So what you can do now, you can call those normal methods within the synchronized block. If that is you can able to provide the synchronization. So we are going to see an example program for the second scenario only. Okay. So I am going to make change over the same program. So I told that the method is a normal method. You see, can you able to see the, what is this, my compiler, online compiler? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you see here, I'm making changes over the same program. This statement, this transaction method as a normal method. Transaction method as a normal method. Okay, so this is the one change I made. So next, what I am going to do, I'm going to make change over the place where I'm calling the normal method transaction. So where I'm calling this transaction method, you see here only I'm calling. In the deposit class, I'm calling. In the run method, I'm calling this transaction method. So here I can add the synchronization block, synchronized block. I add the synchronized block here. So what I can do, synchronized on the object T. So that block, this is the synchronized block. Within the synchronized block, I'll be calling the transaction method. This is my second change. What change I made? The first one is a normal method. Transaction is a normal method. So already it is defined, so we cannot modify it. So it is a second scenario. So the place where I am calling the transaction method, calling of a transaction method, I placed within the synchronized block. So synchronized on the object T. So T dot transaction. So this is a change. Okay. And same way I have to do for withdraw also. Withdraw also I am calling the transaction method. In withdraw also I am calling the transaction method. So what I will do. Okay. So here also within the run method transaction, and how much I want to withdraw, it is 2000. The operation which I want to do is double. Okay. So it is a withdraw. Here also I am calling transaction method, T.transaction transaction 2000 value. So I place that statement within the synchronized block. Now I can able to provide the synchronization. So with these changes, okay, so I'm going to execute the same program. Okay, so how did I called this? Is deposit first or withdraw? Okay, you see T2 dot start. T2 is an object of withdraw. First I'm withdraw, then I am doing deposit. Okay, so withdraw now, my balance, initial balance is 5,000. I'm withdrawing 2,000. So after that operation, my balance is 3,000. So then I am doing deposit. While doing deposit, my balance is 3,000. And after deposit, my balance is 7,000. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The operation, the way in which everything is same. Only thing is transaction is a normal method, but I want to provide the synchronization. So what I can do, in the place where I'm calling the transaction method, that place I can place the synchronized block. So this is my synchronized block. The change you made now, the block, synchronized block. So these two are the methods that is used for synchronization in Java.